Hello, it's glad to have you join us on the program. Who's talking with Adesuwa Lato. And on today's edition of the program, we have with us a guest. Is the Executive Director, Equity International Initiative, and the convener, No to Forceful Vaccination in Nigeria, and is Ambassador Chris Iyama. You're welcome on the program.
Thank you, Adesuwa, for having me.
You're
It's a
welcome.
pleasure.
Nice to have you here. All right. Just recently we saw you at the forefront of a protest in Benin City. Can you tell us about it?
You see, some of us, or someone like me, and the people you saw there, are coming with a belief system. And what is that belief system? That we have the right to choose, as guaranteed us by the Constitution, of the Nigerian Constitution,
All right.
Chapter 4, as amended, 1999 to be specific.
Okay.
And we felt that the governor of the state should not, cannot, and dares not threaten the people that elected them into office. If you want to take a vaccine, it should be a choice.
Okay.
That I don't want to take a vaccine should not be criminal. And so we stood up with the coalition of civil society organizations in Nigeria, and of course, the Say No to Forceful Vaccination in Nigeria, and of course, the Equity International Initiative to say no. We wanted to tell the governor that we own the state more than him. He's only privileged to be a governor elected by the people. And if the people that gave you that vote is saying no to some of your policies, then it is no. You cannot enforce something that we don't want to take, because after all, the so-called COVID-19 is still controversial till date.
All right. Ambassador Yama, before we go into all of that, if you read the governor's speech or if you watched him making that speech,
Yeah.
you can see that the statement he made was not actually a forceful one. He said that if you don't have a green card, which is the card from the vaccination, a proof that you have had the vaccination, you will not be allowed into public places or high traffic places, high populated places. That was what the governor said. So if you're saying now that the governor is forcing people to take vaccination, I think, don't think you'll be wrong while you're saying that.
Maybe Adesuwa, I see, maybe you need to go back to revisit that video again.
Okay.
It's all over internet.
All right.
If there was no beating in the first place, the child would not cry.
Okay.
The governor said in that video that went viral, when he was talking to some selected stakeholders, only God knows the people he was talking to, which I believe that civil society organizations weren't carried along. Those citizens weren't carried along. He just chose certain persons that will say, yes, sir.
Is that also part of your grievances?
It's maybe far from it, but maybe
Okay.
it can contribute to a little of it.
All right.
When you say, when you tell the people, hey, from second week of September, if you do not have your green card, vaccine certificate, or
Yes.
evidence of being vaccinated,
Vaccinated.
you will not be allowed to go to church. You will not be allowed to go to
Public
mosque,
places
to
in
public
general.
places in
Yes.
general. What does that tell you? Do I need an English teacher to interpret what mandatory and compulsion or enforcement? And he went further to say that he has equally directed security agencies to ensure that citizens do not have access to these places. And you and I, we know the kind of country where we live in, especially in Edo State, where we have a lot of overzealous security personnel just waiting to take action. So that is compulsion, that is mandatory. Now, we are still debating, maybe I don't want to be too fast in your program, but you see, the issue of COVID-19 vaccination and all that, it is even still too early for you to now be compelling someone to take vaccine. That is being compelled, that is being forced. Because there is no law in this country that empowers him to give that kind of statement.
Okay.
Democracy is about the people, for the people, and by the people. So let me ask you, did the governor consult you as a media personnel?
Of course not.
Were you in the same town hall meeting where the governor stated those things? Did he invite you? He only invited, like I said, a couple of people to talk to interact to.
All right.
You are a big name in this state. Were you consulted? Were you invited? Did they ask for your opinion? So we should be quick and very fast to condemn things that are condemnable. If the governor had said, okay, my people, you see, because of COVID-19, I'm appealing to you people. There is COVID-19.
But don't you think that if the governor goes that way, nobody would obey him? He's the governor. He has the power.
Listen. What you're forgetting to understand is that we are in democracy.
All right.
You need the House of Assembly. You need the people to make law. If, for instance, he forwarded a particular bill, an executive bill, to the State House of Assembly, but in this case, there's no even State House of Assembly to even send a proposed bill to. That is like executive rascality. The governor needs the consent of his citizens when making any pronouncement.
All right.
Wide consultation.
Okay,
hold on, just
All right.
before I conclude on this.
All right.
When the governor was going through his campaign before he was elected and even re-elected, didn't he go to some places to seek their opinion?
Of course he did.
So why must he now come to this particular one?
For some reason, you might think he has the right to.
No,
as a governor, as a sitting governor.
He doesn't have the right. He needs to follow through due process.
All right. So what are these processes that you thought he should have followed?
Number one,
All right.
there could have been consultation with relevant stakeholders, civil society organization, the media, religious organization. If you ask me, if you say, okay, Chris Iyama, I want to do this particular thing in this state, what do you think about it? I will give you my opinion. You don't come out and say, tomorrow I'm going to do this thing and nobody will question it. This is democracy. This is Nigeria. This is Edo State. We won't take it. Democracy is about negotiation.
Okay.
Let me tell you, if you come to the negotiation table and we have 100% at stake, you want to take 60 and you want to give me 40, I will say, come on now, it is 100%.
Yeah.
Why can't it be 50-50?
50-50, like equal.
Like equal.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we are both shifting ground. Nigerians are not stupid. Nigerians are never stupid people.
Yeah.
That they have been keeping quiet over time is not because they do not have the ability to speak up. It is because they are just watching you.
All right, going forward, Ambassador Iyama, the governor is reiterated despite your protest.
Yes.
Just a few days after your protest, he came up and said, I think before then there was a court order and the governor defied it.
You see, that's when I said he's acting like a dictator, you didn't want to believe that.
Of course I won't believe that. You're talking about the governor.
Yes, hold on.
All right.
We had a protest, a civil protest, a protest that was generally commended by the security agencies. They said, wow, wonderful protest. We went to under the rain, a governor with the people will come out and address the concerns. But what did Governor Obaseki do? Obaseki instead, because immediately after the protest, the chief of staff came up and to say, okay, the governor is not available.
Yes.
He's going to convey the message, which I signed the letter that was sent here,
Yeah.
And then just as we're about to address a world press conference, the following day, which is Tuesday, the court processes were filed in Federal High Court, Port Harcourt,
Okay.
quote and unquote, because as at that day we filed the court order, the vacation judge in Edo State was not available. So we had to now use a court, not even...
Do you think that was planned for him not to be available, or it was just a coincidence?
Whether it was planned or a coincidence, that is his business.
Okay.
But you see, we had a court order, and then the judge, in his infinite wisdom, granted the order, restraining Obaseki from further carrying out the threat.
Yeah.
In the response that the governor gave, he titled the injunction as judicial tourism. We went outside of the state to seek for judicial tourism.
That's funny.
It is quite funny. Forgetting that prior to his re-election, this same governor that titled a court injunction as judicial tourism
Yeah.
still went outside of the state to still procure judgment. What does that tell you?
For the same case.
For the same case. So, whether or not, let me tell you, a governor that will not respect the rule of law is a governor that should not be respected even in his own state. I stand to be corrected.
All right, Ambassador Iyama. Like I was saying, the governor has said that his stand on vaccination stands, that all Edo citizens must be vaccinated. What is your initiative going to do about this?
See, we are doing a whole lot of things
What are you
about
going
that.
to do?
Number one, the governor does not own the state better than us, we the people. We protested. He thought that we are foolish. We went to court through the legal means. And then the same governor don't want to respect court order. For that reason, the governor cannot enforce his will on us. Not possible. We're already streamlining some activities that we are going to carry out. Don't forget that the ultimatum we gave to him expired on Friday. So it then means that we are cooking up something. Let me tell you, Adesuwa, we are not against vaccination. No, it doesn't. 1,000 times no. But that you want to compel me, or that you want to restrict my movement because I've not been vaccinated is criminal.
All right, so let's look at it from this way, Ambassador. What about the fact that there are more deaths on a daily basis? And they are saying that these people are dying from complications from the COVID-19 virus, and that these persons are unvaccinated people.
Okay. If the government is saying that we have lots of deaths as a result of COVID-19 complication, that is a fat lie. That is fallacy. Let me tell you something. Before COVID, during COVID, and even after the so-called COVID, we have still been witnessing more deaths as a result of cholera and malaria. True or false?
That's true.
Listen to me. There is no point beating ourselves. There is no point. We have a disease. These diseases have been staying with us in Africa. So what
we survived
it. So what made our African leaders just shut down the economy, shut down the country? Let me tell you, there are so many businesses in Nigeria that will never rise again because of the first lockdown. That is wickedness. And then here you have a governor. The governor even said in his other statement that if citizens will not take the vaccine, he's going to lock down. That is tyranny. And
but he first said he was not going to lock down the state.
Listen. You see, and that
I think it was being provoked by the actions.
What provocation? That you come on air to threaten your citizen? Is it by his will he got to that office? We know what so many of us did to ensure that the governor remains a governor. So he cannot threaten us. You see, over times, citizens have been so docile. They take these elected politicians as demigods.
Yeah.
You cannot go close to them. You cannot talk to them. You cannot ask them.
These are people you elected
into office. Go to Arkansas in the US. Go to Texas. Go to Oklahoma. Go to Paris. There are certain questions that citizens ask people that they elect. See, we need to demystify governance in Nigeria. We must begin to hold our political office holders accountable for those actions. Adesuwa, if you are in America, if you are in Texas, for instance, you are a media personnel, you'll be entitled to at least $1,300 every month. Every month. For the fact that you run a business or you live in America, you don't know.
That's in the Western world.
That is okay. So what happened? So we will copy the bad thing and then leave the good thing. So during the COVID-19 there was palliative, were you forced to take palliative?
No.
Did palliative get to you?
No, not exactly.
Not exactly. So what's happening now? We must balance governance. I was telling the DSS the other day, I said we must avoid or avert another NSAS campaign, because it starts like this, that you don't want to listen to your citizens elected into office.
Exactly.
You are calling for anarchy. And that's why we're telling Obaseki to retrace his step and to retract his comment. It is not too late. In democracy, the people have a say. And you have to listen.
All right. It's been a nice time with you, Ambassador Yama, on the program. We're glad to have you here. We hope to see you subsequently on the program. All right, so finally, before you go, what's your last words for the governor of the state, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Edo State, Governor Obaseki?
Before now, we know him to listen. But we are telling him to retrace his step. It is not too late. And we're ready to give him the support he needs to succeed in government if he retraces his step.
Thank you very much. All right, you're still watching the program Who's Talking. The next edition will be brought to you soon. Thanks for watching.